All right, YouTubers, welcome back. My name's Dave, like always, and you found do it yourself, do it right. Well, I got my my Common Motors cap on, and you know, if you guys have been watching the channel, that means I'm gonna work on an old bike. You know, I did a video trying to get this old girl back in time, and allegedly, when you go down the road and it warms up, it starts to not want to run the way it's supposed to. Something in the ignition or wiring, the electrical side of the house, something's amiss. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive in, try to dissect it, try to figure out what's wrong. I got some parts. So, parts from other stuff that I had. See if I can figure it out. I know there's an electrical gremlin, and the reason why I know that is because, I was fumbling around and turned the headlight on 1 minute, the headlight works, so you turn the headlight on the next minute and you wiggle the handlebars and it doesn't work, so there's an electrical gremlin somewhere. You know, every old bike has them, so I'm gonna dive in. So my plan is to take the tank off, take the side covers off, obviously. I'm actually going to dive into the carburetors as well. Why not? I'm going to be there. Why not just take them out, take them apart, clean them? So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to take the tank off, and I'm going to open up that wiring harness, the bundle. This harness, after I got looking, there's a kink right here. Like, wires don't like to bend like that. And then especially when you pull the handlebar over, wire doesn't like to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that wire bundle, see if there's some broken wires, which I'm assuming there is. And then I'm just going to do the whole once over on the bike. I really haven't dove into this bike very much. I did some timing on it, previous video. But that's about it. So I think it's time to really open her up, get a good look at it, take it apart, get my hands dirty with it. So I'm going to set you guys up over in that general vicinity so you can watch me work. Alright, so you guys just saw getting this stuff out of the way, and a couple things jump right out at me as I'm pulling this apart. The guy had some zip ties in there holding the wiring and stuff together, which is fine. This little guy here is broken. It doesn't actually clip in. And then you probably saw me smelling the filters over there, those guys. The carburetors are definitely not right. I know that because there's fuel all in those filters. Fuel shouldn't be coming out of there. So I'm kind of glad that I'm gonna yank these carburetors off and clean them, give them a good look over. So other than that, everything is looking fairly original. I did notice, and the guy did tell me when I bought this, that he put a a new regulator rectifier on. This is actually a Spark Moto regulator rectifier. I haven't used one of those yet. I do have one in my collection of parts, but I have not used one yet. So this is the first bike with one on it, and you know, I'm gonna keep going. Gonna pull the carbs, pull the tank, and take a look at that wiring, and I'll bring you back for all that if I find anything out of the ordinary. Change and. Tank's off, carbs are off. I don't know if you noticed, maybe in that time lapse, but as soon as I loosen up the clamps that hold the carburetors on, the carburetors wanted to fall down. So those boots, they're really pliable, and I didn't expect that. I'm assuming that they've been replaced on. Most of the time you gotta yank and get the carburetor down, but those just fell down. So I'm assuming somebody's been in here and replaced some parts. Another indication that somebody's replaced some parts is I was looking at the condenser. I suspect that the condenser might be one of my problems, but looking at it, it's been replaced on, and if you look at it, you know, you can't, I don't know if you can see it down in there, but it says TEC. So I'm assuming that the condenser was replaced when they did the regulator rectifier update, because that is definitely an aftermarket. But when you look at the coils themselves, those are definitely not new coils. Both of them are definitely not new. They're pretty old and crusty looking. Now, coils are known to go bad, especially, you know, like the problem that I'm having, when it gets heated up, the coils can break down. So that very well could be my issue. I do have one on order. I should have waited and ordered two at the same time, because looking through my stock, I thought I had one, but apparently I don't. So I have a new one on the way. I have a new condenser and new points already. I might just go ahead and slap those in there when I, you know, putting everything back together. But right now, I think I want to do some doctoring, some surgery over here on the wiring harness to see. I did notice already right off the jump that the condenser wire, you see how banjoed this wire is coming up over here, down over into here. I don't really like how tight that is. So I think I'll reroute it underneath and pick up the points wires underneath. I might just I just might replace on that just for craps and giggles. And I'm gonna dig into this stuff in here, especially that junction there. You know, this is exploratory surgery. What can I say? Don't exactly know what's wrong with it, but my suspicion now is those coils, the number 2 anyways, is the one that's breaking down. So when parts get here, slap them on. We'll see if that fixes our problem. And I'm gonna, you know, continue on looking at the wiring, just you know, to give myself a warm and fuzzy. All right, so I want to get you guys in here close and take a look-see at this wiring harness. This is all the tape that I pulled off, and this is the, I think this is heat shrink tubing. Not exactly what it is. It's really hard. It's really not pliable at all. And then, you know, you put 40 wraps around with electrical tape, and looky here. I got a wire with some red electrical tape. I have a feeling that that's just twisted together with your fingers, not actually really spliced in there. But you know, I knew right where to go, because whenever you see, you know, thick electrical tape that doesn't look factory, you know somebody's trying to fix that area, or there's some sort of problem in that area. And that's exactly what I keyed in on. I mean, if you look at the factory wiring here, you know, it's not, you can actually see, you can see the wire. This, I knew there was something there that wasn't supposed to be there, because of the way it was all wrapped up and jammed up in there, and it was super hard, not pliable at all. You want these wires to be able to move. You know, you want to be able to move with your handlebar. You don't want them, you know, solid as a rock. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's got to be able to move with the handlebars. So, like I said, that's why I knew where to go right away. This isn't my first rodeo. The last XL 175 I did, man, that thing was, the guy that had it, he redid the wiring, and yeah, he redid it all right. So I'm gonna pull that tape off and see what I'm working with. After further inspection, that connection that had the red is actually done properly. So that's not the issue, but I did find the issue, and just a little bit further back, I don't know if you guys can see it, I don't know if it's going to focus in. You see that nice blue wire? It's cut pretty much in half. This green/red wire, that's got a cut on it, and I believe this black wire also has a cut on it. So there's 3 wires. I wish this thing would focus in better. But there are 3 wires right there that I'm assuming is my lighting issue. If it's arcing, it could also be my my running issue. But I doubt it. So I found wires. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dig into the carburetors and see how dirty those are. Maybe just pop the jets out, spray some air through them. I can't imagine that the carbs are that dirty, but I'm just going to open them up, give them a, you know, a once over, and hopefully they're not too bad where I can just throw them right back together and get on with it. Wires are spliced back together. Now I like to use these, I call them poor man's, quick man, whatever, soldering Enviro splices. They're super easy. They got this, you know, it's like a heat shrink, but then in the middle there's a little piece of solder. When you heat it up, it melts, solders the wires together. I did 3 of them. Not really going to hurt it here in this wire bundle. Put some tape back on that connection. I've looked all the way up and down the rest of the wiring harness. That's the reason why this is skinned back some more. Just making sure that these are copacetic. You know, I don't want to have to come back in here and do any more splicing. I don't see any more nicks. I don't see any more cuts. So I'm going to call this good. I don't have the battery installed, so I can't check the headlight. So I'm going to leave this the way it is until I get it all back together and I can put power back on the bike, and then I can test, you know, move the handlebars, hit the switch, see if I can get the blinkers to not work and the headlight not to work again, because it happened So hopefully those are the two little wiring gremlins, or 3 wiring gremlins that I found. Hopefully there's not much more. I am going to pop open the headlight, check the wiring in there. You know, these old bikes, you know, the wiring gets beat up, and you know, it's 1974, so you know, it's kind of old, getting there. You know, stuff happens, gets cracked, breaks, grounds out, gets cut, chafed, whatever. So the wiring, I'm gonna, you know, continue on. So the headlight is off. Been rooting around in here, mainly checking where the wires could rub against the headlight bucket. That rubber is all good around there. I don't see any rub marks on the wires, which is good. This was taped all the way up through here, so you know, somebody did a good job doing that. So I think that's all I can do for now with the wiring until I get the battery hooked back in. So now I think I'm going to jump over to the bench and I'm going to start working on the carburetors. You know, now that they're drained and there's no gas in them. So let's get over there. Well, you know, I think somebody made an attempt to clean them, but it was just a failed attempt, really. You can see the scrape marks where they took their screwdriver or something and they scraped back and forth. So I'm gonna have to get my ultrasonic cleaner, and you know, I'm gonna disassemble. Like I said, you know, so I bought the when I bought the bike, the man said that he put new jets and he put new seats and needles and blah 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 in the carbs, and you can tell that these are not new. If they were new, they'd be nice and gold like the idle speed, but these are not. So yeah, it's there's something. They're not terrible, they're not super dirty, but they're dirty enough for me to go ahead and clean them. Alright folks, so after some careful deliberation last night, I've decided to end this video here. I think I'm going to make this a 2 or a 3-part video. You know, I get these videos too long and people, you know, they don't end up watching them. So I'm going to call that one here. I got the bike still apart, you know, where I left off. Battery installed. Everything's working. Spark plugs are sparking. I even went and wiggled and jiggled these wires down here, and I think it was just a loose connection, bullet connection back here for the left side rear blinker. So I think I've got the electrical gremlins figured out. Got the carburetors back on. So the next part of this is going to be cam chain tensioner, valve adjustment, go back into the diving back into the good Lord, the points. Good Lord, you know, brain fart. Early in the morning, I can't think. So gonna dive back into the points. Gonna make sure that the gaps on the points are good. And of course, all this is gonna be on the next video. So hopefully you guys like this old bike tuning, getting it back together, making sure the gremlins are taken care of. You know, you can't feed them before midnight or after midnight. You can't get them wet and you can't feed them after midnight. So trying to get this stuff done. That's going to be video number 2. You know, like I said, if you guys like this stuff, give me a thumbs up, like, tag, share, follow, subscribe. You know, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So you know, hit that notification bell so you know when I drop new videos. And like always, till next time, thanks a lot.